friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Chandra and I make videos about reading, writing, and all things books. Today's video is my writing notation system. Yes, Dobby? Hi, boy. Okay, so I was watching a video from Kate Cavanough the other day about writing like Neil Gaiman, and she mentioned making notes and that the notes were not always in order. She talked about not following the full process, but finding that writing on paper isn't always the easiest thing. And it struck me that yes, I did experience that when I first started outlining on paper, which is what I usually do. I zero draft or outline on paper, and I had struggled with that, losing pieces, the story coming out of order, because I didn't have a process for that. So this is the process that I created. If you'd like to see the video from Kate Cavanough that I'm talking about, I'll link that in the description. So the first one is plot points. I always use a square, or if I'm typing, you can even use brackets as I have in my notes, and put that next to any plot points. I put that at the beginning of the line. Number 2, Dobby, you can make biscuits, but you cannot make biscuits with your claws, or you're gonna have to get down because that is aggressive and painful, okay? Good talk. Number 2, stars. Stars mean, usually I just do like one star, the doohickey thing. Stars mean that's world building. So it doesn't necessarily go into the book, and I can break it up just like, I'm working on something else. Something comes to me, and I'm like, I'm gonna add this as world building, write it in, add a star, just right next to it at the beginning. Usually a paragraph, maybe a couple paragraphs, maybe even just a sentence, but whatever has a star next to it at the beginning of the paragraph, whatever block of text goes together. Yes, boy. Yeah, that is the chunk of world building. The next thing that I use is a line, and I will draw a line in the margin all the way down next to anything that is just notes. Notes are different from world building or plot points because it's an idea that I'm playing with. Dobby, don't eat plastic, that's bad for you. So it's different from world building or plot points because I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. I'm not even sure if it's relevant. It's just any thought that pops into my head in relation to the story, it gets that line drawn in the margin next to it. So I know if I'm like, ooh, I thought about this idea, but I don't know, that's where I know to find it. Number 4, characters. I put a circle next to characters. So if I'm breaking up the story and I get to a part and I'm like, oh, I need a character for this, I can just write out kind of a little bit about them, whatever pops into my head that they're going to be. Can I borrow that, buddy? Yeah, so wherever a character pops up, I just put that as a note, whatever information I know about them, so I can go back, I can build out anything additional, add a character name or whatever, versus just that note would be maybe just their function. But it gives me a little clue that I need to go back and look at that again. Number 5, anytime I come up with a question about the plot, the world building, the storyline, whatever the case may be, I just write it out and put a question. So I don't have to answer it. It's not problem solving. As I'm going, I'm just writing any questions that pop into my head in between. And I will just leave a little space so I can come back and answer it later. But anything that's got a question, those are things that I don't know yet about my world or about the characters, whatever the case may be. I just leave the questions in there, unanswered as they may be, and I come back to them. Number 6, anytime I have a bit of dialogue or some prose that I'm like, this needs to go verbatim into the story, I just draw a little triangle at the beginning of the line, or if you're typing your notes, I use a caret. And that gives me the clue that I want to keep it exactly as it is and put that directly into the manuscript, but I don't know where it goes yet. So that's a quick way for me to glance through all my notes and see what I have, what needs to go where, and start to organize my thoughts. Even if they're out of order, I could easily go back through and type them or rewrite them and arrange all of the similar symbols together and have a chunk of text for my notes or whatever the case may be. However you prefer to not eat plastic, however you prefer to keep your notes, you can definitely do that. You can transcribe them and copy and paste them around. Personally, I don't edit or revise my zero draft. I just start writing. So I would take this information, all of my notes, all this stuff, and then I would build out, I'd go through with the Snowflake method after that and kind of fill that out. From the Snowflake method, then I would break that out into how I think the chapters are gonna fall, and from there I'm ready to go. But the nice thing is I always have these notes to refer back to. I always have the world building, I have the questions that I was asking myself, and whether or not I have solutions. If I have solutions, as I'm writing, I can pull that notebook back out and fill in what I decided to do to answer any of the questions that become actually relevant to my story. This is my notation system for when I am outlining on paper. Let me know if this was helpful. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to leave a like. You can also find me streaming on Twitch on every other Tuesday night, and hopefully I will see you there. Bye. Yeah. Hi, buddy.